most call I am La Alahainawa Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Harakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who we want to teach well, and the hearty shalom to the elect. All right, your brother Karate is back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I want to give a Thawadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai for allowing me to do this lesson, and another Thawadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai for allowing the information that's circulating in the news to reach to me so I can teach a lesson on it, all right? Because we are in beautiful times, all right? Iran just struck Salakia. Iran and Israel has been going back and forth, and you can, somewhat see that America has been involved in it to the point where missile defense systems have been provided to Israel from America to defend or to deter missiles hitting Israel to a certain extent. They all didn't work, but whatever worked. Okay, but just last night as I was driving home, I got a notification to my phone that America has struck Iran. All right, and that's a great thing. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this. This is 1 Thessalonians. Salakia. This is 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, and the first verse. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you." All right, and look at what time we in. We in the time of America being one of the catalysts, okay, to start World War III. All right, with America striking Iran last night with their B-52 bombers and their penetration bombs to get within maybe I think 200 feet or 400 feet per bomb that dropped into Iran's nuclear bases that are underground. I think it was like 2 or 3 of them that went into that airspace to drop those bombs. Don't quote me on how many, all right? But how many is not important. What they did was important, all right? What they did is cause strife and contention between U.S. and Iran, all right? And with them causing that strife and contention between U.S. and Iran, Russia could possibly get involved, all right? And the Russians individuals told, hey, America, there's going to be, some type of consequences if you do jump in. Also, China said the same thing. There's going to be some type of consequences, all right? And no nation in the world likes these Israeli individuals, all right? You can see through their history, and their history is being shown on social media, that they've been kicked out of like 100-something odd countries because of what it is that they do, all right? And the Lord's about to kick them out of our country via this war that's going to happen, World War III. But we still have to wait for the mark of the beast, and we still have to wait for World War III for us to be delivered. But if you look at the times of what's going on, there's going to be great war coming, all right? The world's greatest war is going to be World War III. And this war is going to be fought with nuclear missiles, okay? All right? But it says here, verse 2, it says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come, so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, but they shall not escape." All right? Donald Trump is, during his press conference after that strike between U.S. and Iran that the U.S. did on Iran, he mentioned that Iran should want to bring peace to the Middle East after that strike, but it's only going to bring more attention to the world, man, all right? And especially over here to America, because some of these news articles that I got, okay, it says, let's see, Iran warns its reserves all options after U.S. strike on nuclear facilities. All right, but there's some social media posts going around saying that Iran moved those nuclear scientists and those uranium concoctions that they made up out of the places that America hit. So it was a pointless strike. But whether it was a pointless strike or not, they're going to retaliate against America in some way, shape, form, or fashion, okay? This is a quick article. It says Iran warns it reserves all options after U.S. strikes on nuclear sites. It says the United States joined Israel's war with Iran after President Donald Trump ordered strikes on 3 nuclear targets, winning praise and condemnation from members of the Congress and new defiance from Tehran. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated, Trump said in a live address on June 21st, threatening further U.S. strikes if Iran failed to accept a diplomatic solution. All right, so this is how they force these other nations into getting into what it is that they want. All right, it reminds me of the scripture right here in Haggai. Sword. No, it's Habakkuk, Salakia. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say to me, and I will answer when I am reproved. The Lord has showed us, hey, that these strikes that America done against Iran is brewing something up. So we must confess what it is that we see as men on our watchtower. This is going to lead to terror attacks potentially on the United States soil. There's news articles on it. I'm going to just read some of them, okay? It says, and Yahweh said unto me, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right? It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come, and it will not tarry. All right, and the things that the Lord has said in the scriptures are coming to pass, man. All right, World War III is brewing up. All right, let me get this right quick because I keep mentioning it. This is Revelations 11 and 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. It's even quicker now. And then in the time when John the Revelator had saw these revelations, all right, when these things were revealed unto John the Revelator, it's even quickly, it's coming at a faster pace now than when it was when John the Revelator had these revelations, all right, these visions that the Lord gave unto him, all right. This issue with Iran and Israel, all right, and America getting involved is only going to make matters worse for the world, but it's only going to be greater for us because our salvation is coming after these after and or during these major wars. Okay, we have to be hopeful in these times, all right, especially as things keep going. We have to be even more hopeful, all right, hopeful that the Lord is going to deliver us. That's why we are, you know, deeming ourselves of the hopeful elect, because we hope the Lord saves us, you know. But it says here, yeah, so verse 4 says, behold, the soul which is lifted up in him, which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Esau's soul is not right, man. All right, he's trying to take over these lands by means of false pretenses. All right, back in, you know, the early 2000s, there was this issue with Iraq having weapons of mass destruction under the Bush regime, and lo and behold, come to find out, there was no weapons of mass destruction. All right. And then I keep seeing articles or posts on social media about these certain countries that did not have or weren't under the Rothschild banking system. Iraq was one of them. Iran is one of them currently, and they're attacking Iran. But since the early 80s, maybe late 80s, 85 and up, Benjamin Netanyahu has been on you know, television talking about Iran has had these nuclear capabilities. Well, guess what? America has nuclear capabilities. Russia has nuclear capabilities. North Korea has nuclear capabilities. China has nuclear capabilities. All these countries, and possibly more than what I just named, has nuclear capabilities. So why are they just targeting Iran? All right, I can only assume why they're targeting Iran is because, hey, they're not funded. Their banking system is not funded or backed by the Rothschild banking system. All right, that's just my assumption. But nonetheless, okay, the Lord is allowing all this stuff to happen. The scriptures say the Lord mustereth the battle. Let me see if I can find that off in my here on my phone. It's vague. All right, this is Isaiah 13:4. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the battle. All right. The Lord is in control of who goes where. All right. Let's look at this word mustereth. I'm gonna read it in a basic Bible for better English. It says the noise of great numbers in the mountains, like the noise of a strong people. And we know if we read Joel, the 2nd chapter, when it talks about the strong people, it's talking about those thermonuclear missiles. All right. It says the noise of the kingdoms, the nations meeting together, Yahweh of armies numbering his forces for war. All right. So the Lord is putting a spirit on these individuals to make decisions to come into great war. All right. And that's what we need. That's what we want. All right. Because every nation is brought down by a significant battle. All right. As I was talking about in camp yesterday, not yesterday, but the day before, it was the Battle of Opis that brought the Babylonian kingdom down between the Babylonians and the Medo-Persian Empire. All right. There was that Battle of Opis was a pivotal battle into the Medo-Persian Empire taking the Babylonian kingdom, the Babylonian city, as a stronghold, which was a pivotal part in their war. All right, so the Lord did that in that time. World War III is going to be a pivotal battle, but before the American hegemony to come down. Okay, all right. So let's look at this word mustereth. The word is padak. Okay, it says to attend, to muster, number, reckon. It says visit, punish, appoint, look after, care. All right, so the Lord is about to come punish America, man. All right, let me see. The Lord's going to come punish America for the things that America has done to the Lord's people. All right, this is Revelation 18 and 1. It says, after these things I saw an angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried with a mighty voice, he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Go read Isaiah the 35th chapter, okay? In regards to that, it says, for all nations have drunken of the wine of her wrath of fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right, America has been a focal point for consumerism, and with America being a focal point for consumerism, everything that was being imported here made these other nations rich. But with Donald Trump and these tariffs, that's another issue, and or let me say this, that's another geopolitical issue that Donald Trump has put on the American people, because all that has done is raise the prices of things. Okay. It says here, and I've heard the voice, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Ultimately, it's the elect that's going to take heed to that word, take heed to this word, and leave off from the ways of America, okay? All right? Because there's no way you can leave America and think you're going to escape the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shah that he has set up for you, okay? It's not possible. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill unto her double. It says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. But since America has struck Iran as 3 nuclear facilities, Russia may get involved, Yahweh Razak, okay? And then there may be, Yahweh Razak, some attacks on the U.S. soil from what America has done, all right? And it could be insider attacks, okay? It could be attacks from these other nations shooting missiles over here to America. Anything could happen at any point in time, okay? Anything could happen at any point in time, all right? Let me see. Let me go back to this article. All right, it says here, oh, and then the Strait of Hamas has been closed because that's over there in the Iran border. All right, and guess what that's going to do? That's going to affect the gas prices of things that's and the prices of things that's happening here in America, man. America is systematically falling, okay? Slowly but surely, America is systematically falling. We are in beautiful times, man, okay? The only thing that we need to wait for is the return of the Lord first and foremost, okay? And then everything else that relies on, that is related to prophecy to come to pass, such as World War III and the MOTB, man, okay? And when it comes, just know that your salvation is even closer than it was yesterday, you know? And today, your salvation is even closer than what it was yesterday, all right? Let me get this in Romans. This is Romans chapter 13. In verse 11, it says, and that knowing that the time that it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now your salvation is nearer than when we believed. All right, the day of the Lord is coming closer and closer. All right, as the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai rouses up these nations to do what they're going to do against America, against Israel, against wherever else, okay? All right? It's the Lord's will for that to happen. And as these things slowly but surely come to pass, you Americans are going to be affected, especially 2/3 of our people, all right? Because y'all haven't turned to the Lord. The Lord's going to look out for his people that turn to him in regards to hearing his word, all right? Because they want to be delivered, they want to be saved. And the only way they're going to do that is to turn back to the Lord, especially in these times. All right, this is Romans 13:12. It says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand, the day of the Lord's kingdom is coming. All right, the night, this wicked world that we living in, that's ruled and controlled by the hands of the so-called white man. It says, let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. How do we cast off the way of darkness? All right, by coming up out of the ways of Babylon, man. All right, not fleeing Babylon, but fleeing the doctrines and philosophies, all right? And how do we put on the armor of light? Have faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, all right? Because the times that we coming in are beautiful, but they're going to be scary at the same time, because who knows where the Lord's going to allow these missiles to hit if there's anything that comes into America's space system or airspace in that matter, okay? But all you have to do is just trust and have faith in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai. It says, let us walk honestly and as in the day, not in rioting or drunkenness, nor in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envy. All right. And, you know, that could be, you know, just being so engulfed in this place that you're not paying attention to what's going on around you and how what's happening geopolitically is going to affect you as one person. You know, it's going to affect your country, it's going to affect your city, it's going to affect your state, it's going to affect your town, and ultimately it's going to affect your household, how you spend and make money, how you survive, all right, what the new currency is going to be. And that new currency is going to be based on a digital currency, which is going to be backed by individuals' continued trust and faith in this American system. But then in order to continue that trust in this faith in this American system, you're going to have to get this digital implant put in you. Okay, uh, it's on this phone, so I can't read the article. But you're gonna have to get that digital implant put in you, and that digital implant getting put in you is not the way to go. All right, it says bombs and missiles launched from U.S. warplanes hit. Going back to the article, hit nuclear sites at Fordow, Ashfahan, and Natanz. Number of U.S. personnel were injured. No U.S. personnel were injured in the operation, which struck Iran well after midnight on 2200 local time. So this is Zulu time. But when I got that, if you know anything about Zulu time, you already know. All right. It says here, because that time that it hit, it was during the day. It was evening time. My time, but it may have been 2200 after midnight in Iran. All right, so don't worry about the Zulu time thing. It says Zulu time, just a military operational time that the whole world is in. Okay, when the military wants to do something. All right. It says with 40,000 troops in the Persian Gulf region, the United States faces potential Iran reprisals in the days ahead, and that's what could happen. All right. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go to another article because there's more than just this going on in the world. This article says here, East Coast prepares for a major heat wave as temperatures reach triple digits. All right, and then earlier when I was watching the news, there was tornadoes up there in North Dakota. Just last week, there were floodings in down here in Texas in San Antonio. All right, it was the last week or the week before, but these weather anomalies, okay, they have an effect on what is going on in the world, and this is another reason that our people need to hurry and wake up. All right, let's see. See, on my phone, it had more news articles, man, and I can't get to them because I'm recording on that phone. It says major cities. Here's goes another article. It says major U.S. cities on high alert following airstrikes on Iran nuclear facilities. It says CNN correspondent shows what life looks like in one day after in Iran after U.S. strikes. All right. These white people are backing it up, saying it's a good thing, and it is a good thing that it happened because it's only going to lead to World War III, and we need World War III to happen. Iran says it's all okay. All right, I just was reading out of that article. It's a lot going on, man. All right, and then you got fires that's still happening over here in the Midwest. I believe that's where it was. It says Iran issues grave warning following U.S. attack on nuclear sites. It says President Donald Trump launched a surprise attack on Iran based on Saturday night, hitting nuclear underground sites alleged to be enriching weapon-grade uranium. In response, Iran promised everlasting consequences for the assault. And man, all right, it says the United States, a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, has committed a grave violation in the UN Charter and international law and the NPT by attacking Iran's peaceful nuclear installations. All right, it says the events this morning are outrageous and will have everlasting consequences, and each member of the UN must be alarmed over this extremely dangerous, lawless, criminal behavior. All right, let's see. It says Ayatollah Ali response to the attacks could result in attacks on American citizens and military personnel in the region, and that's only going to further escalate things between America and Iran. All right, so let all this stuff happen, man. These things that are going down in the world, you men that believe in Yahweh Shema Shai, don't be shaken up by it, because we know that these things are supposed to happen before we get up out of here. There's more things that's supposed to happen before we get up out of here, such as the famine of the word, all right, the MOTB, all right, of course, Jacob's trouble and persecution. But the Lord is guiding us to make it through these things through his spirit, through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. He's guiding us to make it through these things. And we just got to continue to keep the faith and continue to trust in the Lord, no matter what it is that we hear, see, or think. All right, because the Lord's in control of it at the end of everything. All right. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna stop at, man. Lord will, you was edified. Yahweh desire come out here and camp later on today, because that's part of my plan, to go out and preach. Because why not? It's a beautiful day. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot. It's 80 degrees now, but that's nonetheless. But Lord will, I get out there and preach today, because I ain't got nothing else going on. But Lord will, you was edified to the next time. Shalom.